So, but it's good. I mean, good experience. We gave a good action.
And just shows you that he is a great fighter, but I'm going into this camp,
Mario's gonna go out there and just put a beating on Manny. I think Manny's a little too old, but I mean, he's a legend. He already did what he did, so I really don't see a reason for him to come back. But
Pacquiao and Mario Barrios shared a tense face-off at their first press conference. When asked about Barrios being much younger, Pacquiao laughed and said, "Don't worry about it." His calm, confident reply reflected the veteran's unwavering self-belief, setting the stage for an intense and electrifying showdown to come.
Are you excited to step into the ring again? Yes. What do you think of Barrios? He's a big, strong, he's young, he's 30. You have 16 years on him, man.
Mario Barrios enters his high-stakes bout with quiet confidence, clearly believing in both his skills and his team strategy. During press interactions, Barrios emphasized that they thoroughly studied Pacquiao's style, strengths, and tendencies and are not stepping into the ring blindly. According to him, their game plan is sharp, focused, and specifically crafted to exploit what he sees as a generational gap. His composed demeanor shows he doesn't view this fight as an uphill battle, but rather as a calculated opportunity to execute months of preparation and prove that youth and strategy can overcome experience.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that combination punchers. That's how Pacquiao was landing. His punches, combinations, and it just shows you that he is a great fighter. But I'm going into this camp, into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as.
Manny Pacquiao's training regimen carries the same intensity that marked his prime. At 46, his movements remain sharp, his combinations crisp, and his footwork deliberate. Observers note a focused Pacquiao, committed not just to conditioning but to refining every detail. There's a palpable urgency in his camp, not born of desperation, but a determination to show this comeback is no empty gesture. The Filipino legend, known for relentless discipline, seems mentally locked in, tuning out all distractions as he prepares to prove that he still belongs at the sport's highest level.
Roger Fernandez. Si Roger Fernandez.
Contrary to the belief that Pacquiao had completely stepped away from boxing, it's now clear he remained active behind the scenes. He participated in unsanctioned or low-profile exhibition matches, keeping his skills sharp and reflexes intact. While these bouts didn't make headlines, they were crucial in maintaining his timing and conditioning. Pacquiao's decision to stay physically engaged after retirement reflects his enduring love for the sport. He's not returning to the ring cold. He's been quietly working, staying in rhythm, and preparing himself for the moment when he'd once again step into the spotlight.
I would say, well, he's been inactive. He's older. Man, but he throw punches. He has a lot of experience. And his last fight was an exhibition, which still was a fight, and still kept him sharp, punching, doing something. So it ain't like he just ain't been in the ring, ain't did nothing. Yeah, he been working. It's like them underground boxing matches are real fights, and it keep you off bold. Emmanuel Stewart used to do a lot of exhibitions for his guys, to get them sharp, to get them prepared for a fight. If they hadn't fought in a minute, just to have them fight sharp. What up, Keith? Yeah, just to have them fight sharp. So if they got in the ring and they hadn't fought in a minute, it won't seem like it. It'd seem like they just recently fought.
Boxer Jesse Bam Rodriguez didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the Pacquiao-Barrios showdown. While he acknowledged Pacquiao's legendary career, Rodriguez firmly backed youth over experience. He believes Barrios' physical freshness, stamina, and speed will be too much for the 46-year-old icon to handle. Predicting a potential beating, Rodriguez highlighted the dangers of returning from retirement to face a younger, active, and hungry opponent. In his view, while experience matters, it can't offset the clear physical advantages Barrios holds, particularly in areas like endurance, reflexes, and recovery. Youth, he insists, will ultimately prevail.
Barrios is gonna go out there and just put a beating on Manny. I think Manny's a little too old, but I mean, he's a legend. He already did what he did, so I really don't see a reason for him to come back. But if he wants to get in the ring with Mario, then I guess Mario has to show him that he has a youth, and Manny Pacquiao should have just stayed retired.
Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of fans are saying,
Yeah.
and are still kind of disbelief. But even looking at social media, and the fans they're thrilled just to see him back. So
Yeah.
just to have him in the ring, and
Yeah.
fighters at that age are not competing.
I think that just says a lot about the type of fighter Manny Pacquiao is, the stardom he has. I mean, he's 46, 47?
He's 46.
And people are still excited to see him fight. So, I mean, that just says a lot about him and what he's done in his career. So, like I said earlier, to see a friend I grew up with fight Manny Pacquiao, it's going to be pretty cool. And it's the same night. So, it's a huge night for San Antonio boxing.
Boxer Jesse Bam Rodriguez didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the Pacquiao-Barrios showdown. While he acknowledged Pacquiao's legendary career, Rodriguez firmly backed youth over experience. He believes Barrios' physical freshness, stamina, and speed will be too much for the 46-year-old icon to handle. Predicting a potential beating, Rodriguez highlighted the dangers of returning from retirement to face a younger, active, and hungry opponent. In his view, while experience matters, it can't offset the clear physical advantages Barrios holds, particularly in areas like endurance, reflexes, and recovery. Youth, he insists, will ultimately prevail.
Actually as big a man as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big, natural welterweight. And of course we understand Pacquiao has moved up. My God, I don't even know when he first turned pro. You would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean, he was that
180 pounds.
round. You could move around, navigate a little bit, say this, say that. But there comes to a certain point with everything that no matter how much you move the furniture around, you still know what room you're in. You still know what room. You can't fool yourself. And he's in a room where he's 46 years old with 72 fights. I rest my case, counselor.
Yeah.
Longtime trainer Justin Fortune praised Manny Pacquiao, comparing him to Michael Jordan, not just for greatness, but for sustained excellence. Fortune stressed that despite Pacquiao's age, he hasn't grown rusty or complacent. His discipline keeps him in top fighting shape, and his training shows a mental sharpness rare even among active champions. This focus and dedication set Pacquiao apart as he prepares for his comeback.
His age, yeah, I mean, it's not. Listen, he's 45, 46. 45, 46, but he's not. He's always active. Guys always stay active. He's always doing something. Mostly playing basketball and some sort of sport, some kind of. So, no.
When Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor, he said, "I'm not surprised." So Manny could say that after he beats Barrios, that he wasn't surprised that he's supposed to win.
Well, what they, DSP, I mean, different Diaz.
He's already as fast as he's been all the years. He hasn't lost a beat.
Right. Maybe if he did lose a beat, he's still faster than anyone else out there. But, you just have to set a schedule because he's not 25 anymore.
But what does it mean to boxing that he's like? What does it mean? Like, you can feel the festive energy.
Of course, because he's like he's Pacquiao. He's the Jordan of boxing. Simple as that.
No, he has more championships than Jordan. He has 8.
No, I mean, he's
I know,
that
he's an iconic
famous.
figure. Yeah, he is. Yeah. No, it's true. The sport is hurting. There's nobody like Manny. Well, you're very popular these days. Everyone
For Mario Barrios, this fight is more than a stepping stone. It's the pinnacle of his boxing dreams. Facing a legend like Manny Pacquiao brings pride, pressure, and a huge opportunity. Barrios openly admires Pacquiao's legacy, but won't let respect affect his performance. Beyond a paycheck or publicity, this fight is a statement. He's here to win and prove himself, making every moment in the ring count against one of boxing's all-time greats.
Your sister, and she told me you were kids, she would do the best in sparring. She would get the best of you.
Oh yeah.
When did that change, Mario? When did that change?
He wasn't the only guy she got the best of in San Antonio. She got the best out of everybody, man. Shit.
Yeah, my sister is like she couldn't spar other females a lot of times.
Unfair.
Yeah.
Mismatch.
She was like overwhelming, man. She was just naturally, strong. And so yeah, most of the time we were they were dudes. But I couldn't really even like spar with her serious until I was like 17 or 18.
Wow. We have Sean Gibbons here, Manny Pacquiao's right-hand man, advisor, head of MP Promotions. Sean, I know you spent a lot of time with Manny Pacquiao over recent weeks and months. There's a lot of conversations about Manny's comeback. What is the latest that you could offer and the update around the potential matchup with Mario Barrios?
Well, the latest is Manny's fighting an exhibition on 28th in Japan. So, you don't want to really look past that. But if he's successful there, Mario Barrios, we've talked about Conor Ben, which I believe was a great fight. That would have been a tremendous fight. We could have done it in England, we could have done it in the US, we could have done it in Riyadh season. But the fact that he wasn't able to come off the suspension, that put the brakes on that. So that brought us to Mario Barrios. He's the WBC World Champion. Manny's first belt ever many years ago was a WBC belt. So I think
Ricky Hatton's reaction to Pacquiao's comeback was a blend of admiration and skepticism. While acknowledging boxing's drama and unpredictability, Hatton questioned the logic of a title fight after a long layoff. He pointed out the faster pace of modern boxing and suggested Pacquiao's return might not be the fairy tale comeback that fans hope for.
Number of years out of the ring, what do you make of it?
Well, one, I hope he doesn't get hurt. I think there's every chance he could do. Secondly, I think how has he got to a world title shot? 5th in the world, imagine if he was number 1 and 2 in the division and trained all your life to get there, and then Manny comes in after being retired 5 years or whatever it is, and goes into number 5 in the division. Boxing these days.
Carl Frampton was blunt and unsparing about the fight, calling a joke and questioning Pacquiao's motives for returning. He suggested financial gain might be overshadowing the sport's integrity. Frampton's concern extended beyond boxing to Pacquiao's health, arguing that at 46, the veteran is more vulnerable to injury. He warned that stepping into a high-stakes world title fight now could be reckless and potentially harmful for the legendary fighter.
The joke, really. There's a thought, an absolute joke. I love Manny Pacquiao. Love everything about him. An all-time great in terms of what he's done previous, but that doesn't entitle you to just walk back in after 6 years and get a number 4 ranking with the WBC and fight for a world title. What about all the other guys that are waiting around? It's wrong. We seen Manny Pacquiao fight an exhibition against a kickboxer in the last fight, and kickboxers can't box, right? I've seen world champion kickboxers coming and sparring boxers. They can't box. They can kick, but they can't, and they can kick and box a little bit. They can't really box, and Manny didn't look great. I mean, yep, I don't know. The WBC, I think we have a lot of time for Richie O'Sullivan, but I think it's a mistake, really do, and they should be quite embarrassed alone.
Trainer Robert Garcia praised Pacquiao's legendary legacy, but expressed concern about the inevitable physical decline elite athletes face with age. While acknowledging Pacquiao's greatness, Garcia warned that the effect of aging cannot be avoided in the ring.
Well, Pacquiao's a big name, and obviously Barrios a great fight for Barrios because he's a champion, and I think Pacquiao, being that they both have connections with PPC, that's the easiest fight to make. So, they're getting another title opportunity. I just the name obviously, but I really believe that Pacquiao shouldn't be fighting. I think it's actually going to be a little. I don't want to say sad because he's going to make a lot of money, so we can't feel sorry for him. But at 46, almost 47, it's almost impossible for You know, I'm just 4 years older, 4 years older than him, and it's not easy to try to think you're gonna get in shape and be able to perform like the way you were, when you were in your 20s and 30s.
You think it's impossible for him to beat Mario Barrios right now?
Well, it's not impossible because he has power. That he should have that power. My voice, so I don't see that happening, but it's impossible. Anything's possible. George Foreman did it. There's been others that do it. But I really don't see it happening.
But Pacquiao's speed's the name of his game. Do you think he doesn't have that? There's no way he doesn't have the same speed as before.
There's no way, bro. You guys, I don't know if you guys seen his next performance.
The exhibition where against that big guy.
It was actually embarrassing to see that shit. So it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. You know what I mean?
If Pacquiao wins, what does that do for him? Where does that put him all time?
Hell, come on, at that age, after like a few years, I don't know how many years he's been out, that'd be impressive. It's hard to think it's gonna happen, but I said it would be nice, right? It would be nice. Very few have done it, and he's actually one that could do it.
Pacquiao, he's probably top 5 all time, one of the greatest fighters.
The Pacquiao-Barrios fight has sparked divided opinions. Some believe Pacquiao's vast experience, fight IQ, and veteran toughness will outshine the younger, less proven Barrios. Others see it as a spectacle, comparing it to Tyson versus Jake Paul, worried the match may prioritize entertainment over true competition. Despite the criticism, Pacquiao's legendary status and the high stakes keep the fight compelling, if controversial, drawing attention from both fans and skeptics eager to see how it unfolds.
Yes.
You got Manny winning?
No. Against Barrios?
Yeah.
No, I think every great fighter got one great fight left in him. That had to be Thurman. And Manny, I think Manny seems to want to... Manny appears to be like how Bernard and Roy were. Like, he's really one of those great old school fighters where he's got to go out on his shield.
Yeah.
Going out on your shield used to not mean just in any given fight. It used to mean that's how they went out, period, fighters. And Manny's like that.
I do not want to see hard to see Manny Pacquiao losing to Mario Barrios because of who they are, but who they are now.
Sean, I do not want to see like Manny on the knee, mouthpiece out. That's gonna hurt me.
Kevin McBride, Mike
That's
Tyson.
gonna hurt me.
For Pacquiao, this fight isn't just a comeback. It's a return to where it all began. He's fighting for the WBC welterweight title, the very belt that launched his global stardom. This poetic full circle adds meaning to the occasion. Winning the title again at this stage would be a powerful final chapter in his historic career. It's not just about defying the odds. It's about defining his lasting legacy.
46 years old, the Filipino legend is taking on WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios this July. But here's the kicker. Pacquiao's first world title was as a flyweight, and now he wants to retire as the WBC welterweight champ. Talk about a career comeback, but can the Pac-Man turn back time? He hasn't been in top form lately, while Barrios is coming off a tough draw. Will Pacquiao's experience triumph over youth, or is this one fight too far? Either way, July is shaping up to be an explosive month for boxing. Pacquiao's rolling the dice one last time. Will he make history as the oldest welterweight champ ever? Get ready for a showdown that'll have you on the edge of...
Barrios and his team are leaving nothing to chance. Reports from his training camp reveal intense focus and strategy. Despite facing a 46-year-old Pacquiao, Barrios trains as if his opponent is in his prime. His team refuses to underestimate the legend, knowing the lapse could be costly. For Barrios, this fight is more than a challenge. It's an opportunity to prove his rise and secure his place in the division.
They presented us, with this opportunity, and he said, you know what, I'll fight now for it one more time. And then from there, obviously we had a tough loss, but it was a competitive fight. And his first fight at 147 pounds, he goes on and takes on Keith Thurman. No tune-ups, no getting used to the thing. Goes at that point is about as good as you can get in the division, and took on that. So he takes on all comers, all challenges. His first world title against Petirov, the Russian, is about as tough as you could have done at the time. And so I think he's earned the right now to be in the biggest, best possible fights. And now it's going to be up to Al Heyman and Louis DeCubas Jr. on what they see is best and fit for his career, whether that's Pacquiao Spence, if that's a unification with Boots Ennis.
Jeff Mayweather publicly condemned the decision to grant Pacquiao a title shot, calling it unfair to active fighters who have been steadily climbing the ranks. He argued that Pacquiao having been away from official competition for years, hasn't earned the right to bypass current contenders. While acknowledging Pacquiao's contributions to boxing, Mayweather believes his comeback disrupts the sport's meritocracy and shouldn't come at the expense of hard-working athletes still in their prime, who deserve a fair shot at the title.
Going for another belt, taking on Mario Barrios. What do you make of this?
Well, first of all, before I even talk about the fight, it seems that boxing has changed because this guy's been retired for what, 3 or 4 years?
What's his last fight, Thurman?
Yeah.
Well, it's 46 years old.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that he's done nothing to be fighting for a world title.
Oh, yeah, for certain. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't understand why he's even fighting for a world title.
But to make a comparison, isn't that kind of the same thing, though, really? Is like Floyd fighting Conor?
It's not the same.
Why not?
Because.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it.
No, I mean, he's been ranked. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's fighting a world champion from boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not. But no, I mean, the thing is that he's done nothing to actually be fighting for a world title, other than just his name and what he's done in his past.
Well, say, don't you think someone of his stature is legendary?
I mean, his stature is legendary, but still, you have guys that are fighting right now that's fighting to try to get to that #1 spot, and basically you have a guy that hasn't fought in I don't know how many years, just jumps up and take your spot, and it may win a title.
But we see that all the time, right?
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned and don't miss what's coming next.